4 years ago, I purchased this grill. It's the Pitboss Pro Series 1100. And 4 years ago, there weren't as many options as there are today, and I was just basically comparing this to the Traeger. And I picked the Pitboss for a lot of reasons, but it's time to say goodbye to the Pitboss after 4 years of ownership, 12 months a year, more than 3 times a week, and I'll go into what I liked about this grill, what I didn't like about this grill, and what led me to get the new Searfire Plus Stealth Grill by Weber. The Pro Series 1100 is called the 1100 because it has 1100 square inches of cook space, but not all that cook space is really usable, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. This Pitboss measures 61.5 inches long. It's about 45 inches high, and those grill grates are 19.5 inches long. Now, the hopper on this grill is quoted as holding 20 pounds of pellets. Take the grate out of the top of it if you're assembling this by yourself. It's really a hassle, and it bounces pellets all over the place when you're pouring it in. You remove that grate and you could squeeze 21, maybe 22 pounds of pellets into that hopper. That's a pretty decent size. And the top of that really works out nicely as another serving area, which brings me to the serving area, the foldable front, and the serving area in the back. Now, I have never used the foldable front shelf on this grill. I do enjoy the bottom shelf on this, and I'm going to miss that very much when I get my Sear Plus Weber Smokefire grill. I mentioned to you earlier that there weren't many choices in pellet grills about 4 years ago when I was really starting to look for this. I actually started looking about 5 years ago, and between the two that I kind of landed on was this one and the Traeger. But the Traeger was basically a smoker. See, the Pitboss has a sliding grate in the middle of that section where you can flame up and you could sear meat all the way up to 475 degrees. The Searfire Plus goes a little bit higher than that. So I really wanted a Argentine wood fire grill, but the high priestess of the house wasn't too keen on allowing me to spend $2,000 for an Argentine wood fire grill. So I ended up with this Pitboss, and it was a big box store buy. I was really attracted to the copper finish of this. I thought it was a very good looking grill off the bat. This comes in at about 241 pounds, so it's pretty robust. And as you can see, it's handled the elements here, 4 seasons here in Pennsylvania, very well. And this grill has been covered and uncovered throughout many rain events and snow events and sleet events because I do use it on a daily basis. I said before that I talk about some things that I liked and I disliked, and why it's time to say goodbye to this grill. After 4 years of ownership, I have replaced many parts in this grill. I've replaced the firebox, which was rotted out. I replaced the entire flame tamer panel that goes across with the sliding grate because the heat and everything else has just basically just flaked it down, and it was warping. And I think after about 4 years, if you're going to be using this unit hard and this pit hard, you're going to have to replace that flame panel, which is about a $120 piece. I replaced the igniter 3 times. Why they keep going out, I have no idea. I replaced the fuse on the control panel twice. I've replaced the auger motor on this. And most recently, I have replaced the control panel. Now, instead of paying the exuberant price for an OEM replacement part, I cheaped it, and I went on Amazon and I got an aftermarket panel. And I replaced that about 2 weeks ago, and most recently I found out that there is no prime control, and you can't set the smoke on this like I could on my old one. On the old one, I believe you had settings of 0 to 8, and you used to be able to up the amount of smoke level during your cooks, or you could lower it to 0 and just basically have a heated grill. The prime button, I don't see the auger pushing the pellets into the firebox, so the prime function of this and the smoke prime function of this control panel is completely kaput. I don't know what a prolonged smoking event, say like on a brisket or a Boston butt, I have no idea what it would be like on this, and I don't want to ruin a nice piece of meat. So after replacing all these parts over the past 2.5 years, really, it started farting out on me about 2.5 years ago, I think it's time to say goodbye. It's been a good friend. There are some things I'm going to miss about it. I'm going to miss that lower shelf. I'm going to miss the ease of use of filling that hopper right there, right on the side, and then using the hopper as another table platform for whatever I'm using when I cook. I am going to miss this grill, but I am looking very forward to seeing what the Weber Smokefire Sear Plus Stealth is all about.